Hello and welcome. My name is Shervon, and this is the Restored Tranquility channel. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about trauma, big T trauma in particular. And in a lot of spaces, trauma is being talked about at various levels. And so today we're going to be talking about trauma as it pertains to the ACE test and one's ACE score. ACE is a quiz or test that they came up with, I don't remember how long ago. The first time rather that I heard about it was maybe 10 years ago. And it is the test for adverse childhood experiences. What they have noticed or researched over the years is that there is a link between the adverse childhood experiences that we all have had in our lives, or most of us have had in our lives. And as we grow into adulthood, what health conditions and mental health conditions come up for us. So if you grew up in a household where there was physical violence or neglect or emotional abuse, there is a higher possibility that you might develop depression, anxiety, PTSD, chronic PTSD, or rather complex PTSD is the actual term. You might also develop diabetes, heart disease, or an autoimmune disease, to name a few. And what is really interesting is that these experiences in our childhood can happen as early as the years before age 7, which is our prime developmental years, all the way through our teen years. And the health implications for them may not show up for 10, 20, 30 years down the line. What they've noticed is trauma rewires our brain and rewires our central nervous system. And so our central nervous system actually affects every other system in our body. And so to experience trauma often means we have higher cortisol levels or higher propensity for inflammation and a higher propensity to gain weight, strangely enough, to have digestive problems, right? So like all these things are linked into our central nervous system and can be affected by our childhood experiences. Now, one of the great things about adverse childhood experiences is some of that can be combated with positive childhood experiences. So say your childhood was not terrible, right? Maybe it's one or two incidences or small incidences in your life that really stick out in your mind, but you had positive experiences with the adults or some adults in your life or older siblings in your life, or you got into sports and that was a positive thing, or something about school, like you were in theater or you were in music or band, or you connected really well with a teacher or coach, and that had a positive effect on your life. That can then balance some of those adverse childhood experiences. And so I've been hearing about the ACE test or ACE quiz for a long time. I have been working with clients and have been trained to work with clients around trauma. I had also done a lot of my yoga therapy training around trauma in particular. I knew my own childhood had some experiences that I'd had to work out in my own therapy and in my own spiritual practices over the years, but I had not taken the ACE quiz. So recently I decided to sit my butt down and actually take the ACE quiz for myself. My score is a 4. And we've all heard people, or many of us have heard people talk about their ACE scores being as high as 8 or 9, and the kind of mental health and physical health things that come up for them, particularly CPTSD. But for those of us whose numbers are a little bit lower, it feels almost ubiquitous. My number is a 4, and it means that I would be more prone to things like digestive issues, joint pain, aches in my body, depression or low-grade anxiety. What else? There were several other things on that list. And it turned out, yeah, over my life, I have been dealing with fibromyalgia. And with fibromyalgia comes joint pain, roving muscle pain, brain fog, anxiety, sometimes depression, but more leaning towards anxiety, as well as a whole host of digestive issues that go along with that. And those things started for me right around age 30 or 31. And over the years, over these last literally 20 years, I'm 52 now, I have been working through talk therapy, and then I stepped back into yoga, and then stepped into yoga therapy for myself, and doing psychedelic healing work over the last few years. And I'm happy to say that a lot of the fibromyalgia experiences that I've had, particularly with pain and digestive issues, are virtually gone. And so I'm really excited about that, because it means the therapies that I have been stepping into over the years work, even if I didn't know what my score was. I knew what my symptoms were, and I knew what I needed to do in order to access more healing. And so I share this to encourage you to, number one, really sit with and think about your own early life experiences and how they may have affected your adult life. And maybe you go and take the ACE quiz as well. There is a link down in the description box where you can take a quick quiz that will give you your number, and then you can know what your number correlates to. And I would encourage you also to then think about what kind of therapy you might want to step into, or what type of practices you might want to step into in order to access your best life, your healing at a deep, unconscious level. If you like the content that you see on this channel, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, and like this video. I will see you back here in a short while.